why the 4-2-2 is the best attacking formation to use post-patch in FIFA 22. Let's get straight into it. Top 200 in the world, pro player, custom tactics and instructions. Let's get started with the tactics. So defensive style, we're going to be sticking with balance. I usually like to use presses on attacking formations, but on this formation, for some reason the balance works really well, and that is mostly because we're changing both the defensive styles. So if we're using balanced, then you can sort of afford to use a press on the defensive style. When you're changing the offensive style, it's better to stick with balance, otherwise you're going to change the whole shape of the formation, draw players out of positions too easily and drain too much energy. So we're sticking with balance. Width, we're going to be using 42 as a sweet spot I found, making it a bit narrow. So 40, it just sort of brings it in narrower than default, making it for the harder for the opponent to break through. I know that's on 4-4-2, so let me change that to 4-2-2, but still the same applies. So you can see here, basically it just means that it's making it a bit narrower, making it harder for the opposition to get through, and making it a tiny bit wider. So 42 just makes it a little bit easier, but barely noticeable. But when you win the ball back, it's just a tiny bit wider to attack with again. For the depth, we're using 55. I normally like to play quite a high line, but this formation, 55, actually seems to work quite well. You're bringing it in narrow, you're sitting deeper as well, so you can sort of spring on the counter-attack quicker when you do win the ball back. For the build-up play, we're using a long ball. This is because long ball pretty much, I'm not really a fan of long ball, but on this formation, it just works really well. Since FIFA 21, long ball has worked so well on this formation, and pretty much this formation only really. A couple of formations it's good with, but this one in particular, getting the ball to those cams and those strikers from your CDMs and your defenders works a treat. So we're using direct passing alongside that. I'm using direct passing on pretty much every single formation in this game so far, because it's just the meta this year. Obviously it's a new feature for this year, but it works so well. I do recommend using direct passing. Getting the ball to your strikers quickly works well with long ball. For the width, we're using 65 width, pushing out a bit wider than default. Sort of pushing those left cam and right cam sort of more into the winger positions, but not too wide that we're changing the whole shape of the formation. For the players in box, we're using 6 to help push more players forward into the box. The players you want into the opposition box, your 2 strikers and your left cam and your right cam. Your CDMs you want to stay in back and not going into the opposition box. Maybe staying on the edge, but not into the box. Players in box on 6, so corners on 2 and free kicks on 2. So now for your player instructions, strikers, stay central, stay in the centre of the pitch in line with the opposition goal. Getting behind, making forward runs behind the opposition defenders. This is key with direct passing and long ball. And stay forward so they're not dropping back when defending. You can use base defensive support if you want to, but this is sort of meant to be played in your attacking slot, so I recommend stay forward to keep it as attacking as possible. That is on both of your strikers. For your 2 CDMs, make sure you have cut passing lanes on to stop the opposition making through balls through to their attackers. Basically means your CDMs are cutting off the passing lanes, quite self-explanatory, making it harder for your opponents to pass around, especially in your box. Stay back while attacking. This ensures your CDMs are not going to push into the opposition box, which can cause a problem. You're going to have too many players far forward. You could have one on balanced attack maybe, but I recommend both on stay back while attacking. Cut passing lanes and stay back while attacking, the same as the other one. Also make sure you have cover center on so they are not drifting out wide. You want your CDMs to stay in the middle, you don't want them drifting out wide and making a big gap in the middle. But that is why we're making the defensive width narrower, so that is why you need to make sure you have cover center on. For your left cam and your right cam, or lamb, whatever, I don't know what they're called, to be honest, but whatever. So stay forward, base defense support, and then you want the rest default apart from positioning freedom. Now not many people change this, so you can use stick to position if you want to, but free roam actually does work well and barely anyone uses it with this formation. The 4-2-3-1 and the 4-2-2 are the only 2 formations free roam works well on, but you can see how much space the left cam and the right cam have got around them. They got right up to the touchline, they got ahead of them a bit, they got behind them a bit, they've got so much space to roam around in, pretty much just providing more passing options. And this is how Ralph Rangnick plays the 4-2-2 in real life. You see, well, because I'm a Man United supporter, I'm watching it quite a lot, but if you watch Man United, you see the players playing in the left cam and right cam position with the 4-2-2. They do drift out very wide and they're pretty much like wingers at some points, which is why we're going to be using free roam. It works well. If you don't feel like it works for you, then just keep it on default. For your fullbacks, I recommend stay back while attacking, but also have overlap on if you want your fullbacks attacking. So if you have good attacking fullbacks who are also very fast, then you can afford to use balanced attack and overlap. So they are overlapping runs on the outside of your left cam and right cam to help get crosses into the box, just making it easy to attack. But if your fullbacks are maybe a bit slower or just not very good going forward, I recommend to keep on stay back while attacking to make sure they're always going to be staying back and not pushing up. For your 2 centre backs, always leave default. Never change your centre backs. And for your goalkeeper, comes to crosses, your keeper's coming off his line more to defend corners and crosses. And sweeper keeper, he's pretty much just been more aggressive, challenging the opponent for loose balls and free balls into the box, trying to get the ball in his hands and trying to clear the ball away as quickly as possible. Self-explanatory, just like sweeper keeper works in real life. And that is the 4-2-2. So pretty much why the 4-2-2 is the best attacking formation post-patch, because it is, trust me, it works so well. I use this formation all the time when I'm about a goal or 2 down, which is sort of when you should switch to it. but it works so well, and it's so versatile to work with different players, because you can play wingers in the left cam and right cam, you can play cams there, you can play all sorts of players around it. And the 2 CDMs, you can play centre mids there, you can play CDMs there. It just works very well. So that is everything for the 4-2-2 formation. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments and I'll reply as quickly as possible. Have a good rest of your day. I'll be greatly appreciated if you could subscribe. It really helps me out. But anyway, have a good rest of your day. Enjoy using this, and goodbye.